Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to be looking at 10 reasons why Newcastle is now such a disliked team. In the past year or so, as Newcastle has been progressively getting better as a football club, we've drawn out more haters than I've ever seen in my lifetime supporting this team. But why is that? Is the hate justified, or is it just people that are jealous at the end of the day? That's what we're here to find out. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing alright. I'm enjoying my time down in London this week. Of course, we take on Brentford tomorrow in our second match in 4 days over in the capital, and I can't wait for it. So let me know how things have been, guys. If you're new around here, make sure you get down here, hit that subscribe button, smash like button you enjoy. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. Reason number one, and the most obvious out of the 10 being the takeover. On the 7th of October 2021 marked the day that Mike Ashley, after being the owner of Newcastle for over 14 years, has finally sold the football club. Now, you don't need to be a Newcastle fan to know how bad Mike Ashley really was. He was shite. Mike Ashley simply cared for one person and one person only, and that was himself. He wanted money. He used Newcastle to benefit him. He never wanted the club to be better. We were relegated twice under 14 years, and it would have been a third time if it wasn't for the takeover happening at the start of the season. Newcastle we weren't going anywhere. It was depressing as a football fan, and it just wasn't great to see. We were nowhere near where we should be as a football club, and as a result, when the takeover went through, it was such an amazing day for Newcastle fans. But the takeover itself, for our Premier League teams or opposition fans, they'll become jealous. They might become a bit scared of where they are in the league. We're getting a bit more detail about that shortly, but the takeover was the catalyst for a lot of people turning on Newcastle. Speaking of the takeover, it brings us into reason number 2 now, and the fact that it's a Saudi Arabian takeover. Saudi Arabia PAF bought 80% of Newcastle, Amanda and Murder bought 10%, and while the Reuben brothers bought the remaining 10%. So 3 groups have came in together and purchased Newcastle. Now, the problem with Saudi Arabia being is the human rights background, which is a fair enough understanding of why some people might be against Newcastle. Now, there's 2 ways you can look at this. One being that people are against human rights, people that are going to protest against Saudi Arabia in every avenue that they do. You got to remember, Saudi Arabia, they own a lot of things. For example, you put petrol in your car, you are giving Saudi Arabia money. I can go on and on. Own Disney. So, for example, you have a Disney Plus network, you are giving Saudi Arabia money, not to mention all the different sports. WWE, UFC, the boxing, everyone is a part of Saudi Arabia now as they want to conquer the world sports. The problem this mainly has in Newcastle is the fact that opposition fans may try and point score from this. For example, Gary, a Chelsea fan. So Gary has just been under Roman Abramovich for a good 15 years. An ownership which you can also say does generate what you would call oil money into the league. Gary all of a sudden has seen Newcastle's takeover, and he suddenly gets all political and he goes, "Oh, Saudi Arabia, it's disgusting, they shouldn't be in this league," while he's also been enjoying the Russian money coming in. So it's a case where I think fans of opposition clubs that don't like Newcastle for whatever reason can kind of jump on it, and they really start to generate this nasty toxicity towards the club. And that's one thing Newcastle fans have been almost a victim to. And whether you agree with Saudi Arabia or not is another question, but people are highly hypocritical, and that's where it gets into the football side of things. So it's a bit of a tricky one to talk about, but that's one that continues to pop up, the fact it's a Saudi Arabian takeover. Saudi Arabia brings us nicely into reason number 3, and that is the media. Journalists, mainstream media, they will want to promote Saudi Arabia as much as possible online when it comes to Newcastle, because it's easier for them to earn profit from it. So let's say midweek, we just beat West Ham 5-1 down in London. So a journalist will put an article like this out. PAF, Saudi Arabia owned club Newcastle United, has just beaten West Ham 5-1 down in London. So someone that has very little relevance to Saudi Arabia will all of a sudden become a Saudi Arabia theme, because it's lazy journalist, it's gender driven, and it's something that Newcastle fans have got accustomed to. The same with other football clubs as well. Someone that has very little to do with Saudi Arabia, because remember, when Newcastle got this takeover approved by the Premier League, they had to prove in a court of law that it's not linked to the Saudi government. So in this case with the PAF, it's very easy for journalists to come out and mainstream media to come out and just make it agenda driven. And that in terms encourages more people on social media to turn on Newcastle. So it's a bit of a nasty cycle, but that's something that is going to continue, unfortunately. Reason number 4, and again quite an obvious one, jealousy. People look at a table like Newcastle, people look at where Newcastle currently are on the league table, and they're jealous. It's that simple. Every football team wants to be successful. So when you got ownership that's not great, or you got a team that's not playing well, you're going to get angry and frustrated when you see a like Newcastle just walk through games at this point. I mean, it's crazy how consistent Newcastle are as a team now. And you've got to think that it's only been over 1 year since a takeover. Imagine 5-10 years time what this club could actually do under this ownership. So it's a case that opposition fans will get frustrated, they get angry about it, and they take out their anger on Newcastle. So jealousy. It's human nature. You see someone doing better than you want to be better than them. It's just human nature to be jealous of our people. So it's unfortunate, but that's again something that's going to continue to happen. Reason number 5, fans are scared of Newcastle. It's not just jealousy, it's also fear. Newcastle are 3rd in the Premier League table. Manchester United, Tottenham fans, 2 teams that are looking to get into that 4th position. They look at Newcastle and they're scared of the club because they know that team means business. It's a new team that can push them out of the top 4. As a result, teams around Newcastle on the table are scared of us. Our teams are scared of playing us, have this resentment towards Newcastle because they don't want those 6 points to suddenly disappear from their league table. So it's a case that when teams play Newcastle, they're scared of playing us. As a result, fans hate the club because they don't want to play the club. Reason number 6, fans do it for attention. When you go on social media, especially Twitter, they put on a negative, controversial tweet about Newcastle. It generates a lot of responses from Newcastle fans. Now, to be fair, I'm also at fault of this because I respond to quite a lot of them. I like going on just destroying fans because it's too easy nowadays. I mean, Sunderland fans, for example, why are they putting negative posts on about Newcastle? Listen, lads, he's just stuck in the Championship. I don't know what you're piping up about. Why would you want to support Sunderland? Don't get it at all. So yeah, you get the likes of Sunderland fans that come out in social media and they'll take digs at Newcastle. They'll put controversial posts on that they know is going to drive traction from Newcastle fans, and they do it simply for attention. Fans hate Newcastle because they know Newcastle fans are going to respond to their tweets. So it's just attention, little versions on the internet. So watch out for that. That's another thing that's going to happen constantly. Reason number 7, the style of football Newcastle play. Managers in the Premier League are very vocal about how Newcastle play football. Ten Hag is the most recent example. So Manchester United managers came out a couple of days before the game at St James's Park. He comes out and he says how Newcastle time waste, we don't like playing with the ball. Ten Hag just comes out and talks absolute nonsense about Newcastle. And because of that, Manchester United fans will follow their manager and they'll repeat what he says towards Newcastle fans on social media. Ten Hag, Mr. Hypocritical, by the way, because he went to St James's Park, time wasted the whole game, lost 2-0, played rubbish football and lost 2-0, so he wasn't piping up anymore. So that's the thing with the likes of managers in the Premier League. They'll make excuses when they don't win against Newcastle. They'll come out and they'll take shots at Newcastle instead of criticising them, wanting to improve in their own performances. So it's a case that football fans will follow their managers when they come out and criticise Newcastle. And as for Newcastle's style of football, we dominate possession. We like playing with the ball. We're quite smart. We like playing a lot of mind games as well. And that can upset and frustrate opposition fans. So once again, the way we play football with anger fans. Reason number 8, Newcastle are a menace to be with in the transfer market. When football teams are wanting to buy players, the likes of Newcastle could come in and swoop deals off them. And because of that, football fans, football clubs will just hate Newcastle. They have resentment towards the club because they're just going to come in and start buying players off them. If Newcastle finish in the top 4 this season, they expect this in the summer. Players will want to join Newcastle. They'll want to be a part of the project. They'll want to play Champions League football. It's going to be hard for our teams out there to convince them to join their club instead because Newcastle is such a lucrative deal to be at the minute. A good example of this being is Sven Botman in the summer. Now, AC Milan and Newcastle went head-to-head for a good month trying to sign this player. Eventually, Newcastle got the deal done despite the fact that AC Milan have got 7 Champions Leagues to name. Paolo Maldini, the director of AC Milan, was constantly ringing up Botman saying that we want to sign you, the greatest centre-half to ever play football. Is ringing Botman up saying we want you to join us. So it's a case that AC Milan played all the cards they could, but in the end, Botman wanted and he did join Newcastle. Now, an AC Milan reporter since that, this Alessandro guy continues to come out and take digs at Newcastle because he's still upset about it. Oh, please, Botman, please, could you join AC Milan? I mean, people like this guy is just going to keep coming out and they're going to keep whinging because Botman didn't join their club. Oh, don't even get me started on him. It's pathetic. Please. please, Botman, please join us. Listen, mate, Botman is not joining AC Milan. Get over it. Stop tweeting about Newcastle. It's obsession at this point. This guy, you need to get a life. Go out. There's girls out there. Go speak to someone. Honestly, some people are mental. This guy can just do one. Reason number 9, and it's the over celebrations from Newcastle. Every time Newcastle win a game of football, the players, they're pictured in the dressing room celebrating their win. It's to help team cohesion. Eddie Howe wants his squad of players to be as good as possibly can be with each other. And to be fair, in my lifetime, it probably is the best team of players. Everyone loves being amongst each other. Everyone wants to strike towards one goal. There's no one in there that's in there for their own self-gain. Everyone wants to work as a team and everyone wants to win. Newcastle also invite the likes of Sky Sports sometimes into the dressing room to actually capture Eddie Howe speaking to his players after the game. Newcastle this season have announced an Amazon documentary where they're going to capture all of the team's progression towards the Champions League this season. People think it's too much. Some people think it's the club over celebrating. Some people might go, oh, Newcastle, it's like a winning a cup final every week, stop doing it. Some fans would just get annoyed by it. So, I mean, for me, I couldn't give a toss because, listen, it benefits us. But to opposition fans, some people out there were like the whinge and moan. It's just like a grandpa whinging at the club. I mean, it's the same old crap, really. It's just people that don't like Newcastle coming out and whinging more, essentially. Finally, reason number 10 is the future of Newcastle. Will Newcastle become the next Man City? Manchester United was heavily hated due to the fact that they'll win the Premier League every single season. People didn't like the fact that the league was becoming predictable, that one team was just so much better than the other teams. People don't like that. People want to see our Premier League teams give it a good go. In cup competitions, want to see our teams win it. And it's a case that people are just sick and tired of Man City winning everything. So could this happen to Newcastle as well? I think, once again, it's a bit of fear coming in from fans. Fans are angry at the fact that Newcastle got this huge takeover. They don't want to see the team do well because they don't want to see the league become less competitive due to the fact that teams are just so much better than our teams in the league. So that's one that time's going to tell on. We don't know what's going to happen in Newcastle. At the minute, things are going smoothly, but who knows what the future has in store. We'll just have to wait and see for that. As a Newcastle fan, though, I'm not complaining. I know some people are going to have agendas against Newcastle. Some people aren't going to like Newcastle due to the takeover. And people are entitled to their opinions. I'm not here to change people's opinions. I'm just here to give you 10 reasons today why Newcastle is a hated club. As time progresses, Newcastle will become more hated. It will be like an Man City where teams just don't like them. They'll continue to say, oil money club, oil money club. They'll come out and they'll constantly mention Saudi Arabia and they'll just be annoyed at the fact that Newcastle are just a menace now. We're a team that's going to be going out there, beating our teams. It's just going to be a case that football teams don't like it. Football fans don't like it. And it's something that Newcastle are here to do. Eddie Howe said that Newcastle is not here to be a liked team. We're not here to be liked at all. We're here to win games, and that's exactly what we're doing at the minute. So we'll see what happens as time progresses, but so far it's been an unbelievable time to be a supporter of this club. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Do you agree with the opinions? Do you disagree with some of the points people make? I believe probably the 10 best examples I can put in of why people might dislike Newcastle. And it's a case that it's really boiled over on social media now. It's continuing to push out there. And I mean, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but I think it's a bit annoying at the same time. So I'm a bit contrasted in it. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoy watching this video. I'll be back tomorrow for the Brentford vlog. So hopefully things go well in that game. I wish you all the best, though. Take care, and thank you all for watching.